Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hey, everybody. How are you? Please come in. Please come in. Please come in. I've missed you all. Oh, my goodness. Okay. Yes. Let's give it a couple moments for everyone to come in. All right. Give it a couple moments for everyone to come in. All right. Hey. I see people coming in. Please come in. Please come in. Yeah, please come in. All right. I know it's been a while since I've been here with you all. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving. I really do. I ate good. I know it's been so long since I've talked to you all. Not much has been going on with me, but just getting myself together. Uh-huh. Sweet Ace of Silhouette. She said, manifesting. Yes. Beautiful Natasha. She says, hello, everyone. I'm going to be in and out the chat. I have finals week at school. Everyone, please send some good energy, some energy of excellence, some energy of success to our good sis Natasha because she has finals at school. And we want you to ace your finals, get the highest marks in the class, show off that Black excellence. Okay, we want that for you. Hey, CS girl, how are you? How are you? Yes. Seshomara side eye. Hey, girl. I love that Abby of you with that purple hair. That is amazing. I love that. She says, good luck. My finals are next week. Everyone send that same good, successful energy to Session Morris because she said her finals are next week. We want the same thing for you. Excellence, success, moving forward and progressing in your education from a place of strength, knowledge, all of that. Yes. All right, my darling. So I know we're talking about um the full moon today, which has not occurred yet. We have some time. It's almost perfecting. We still have some time. So we're going to talk about the last full moon of 2025 today. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. CN1. Yes. Hey girl. We're going to talk about it. But I'm seeing some other things. I'm seeing a lot of conversation about one particular person recently. I know there's a new Diddy documentary and all like that. I just want to know, okay, so can someone please tell me, um, with this Diddy documentary by none other than 50 Cent, someone else who's problematic. Um, can someone tell me with some receipts, are there some new lawsuits against Diddy? Are there some new um punishments coming for Diddy? Is Diddy being drawn and quartered? Is he can someone give me some information as it pertains to Diddy? And I'm asking this for a reason. Hey girl, Sleepy B. Hey sexy RN. Yeah, I'm asking this for a reason. Okay. Sexy RN says those were older lawsuits. Many have been dismissed. Okay. Okay. Many have been dismissed. Okay. So I kind of been seeing, and I just saw something about 20 minutes ago. I was on Threads looking around, and I saw someone saying, or the conversation was that as far as Diddy is pertained, his goose is cooked because he has a tattoo of a Loa on his back, Ursula Dantor on his back. And there's so many people saying like his goose is cooked, he's over with, he's finished. And I'm just trying to say, I'm trying to figure out where. Show me where Diddy is cooked. Now I told y'all, what was it last year, year before last? What was it, late 2023? I can't remember when it was. I told you all then that yes, Diddy does magic and he's stupid as it pertains to magic. But show me where his goose is cooked. Diddy is not spending 50 years in jail. Diddy is not spending 20 years in jail. Diddy is not spending 5 years in jail. Diddy was not convicted of the most heinous charges from this lawsuit. The RICO was not proven. Diddy's homes are not seized. It is a possibility that he transferred his assets, his finances, his money into other businesses or in other people's name. Show me where Diddy is cooked. Show me where he's cooked. Okay. Yeah, he's still in prison. See, Natasha, and this is what I need for you all to understand. Yes, he's in prison. Yes, he is. He is in prison. He is. You're thinking about how you would spend 2 years in prison. Right? Okay, you said he may go down for Biggie impact. Well, until murder charges are brought against him, and a full murder case is brought to trial, and he is, if there were trials for these murders, and unless he's convicted of these murders, show me where he's cooked. Show me where he's cooked. And this is why I tell you all, like, listen to people. It don't have to be me, but listen to people who absolutely um absolutely show me where his goose is cooked. See, Q is not going to spend any time in prison. Q is not. I ain't gonna do 2 weeks. Okay. But someone that has lived, that has traveled, show me the repossession. Show me these things. Getting those couple years in jail with everything that we have seen and known, I'm sorry, it's a win. It's a win. It's a win. It's a win. And I told y'all, if he was smart, he would have did every type of magic possible it was to, make things go in his favor. And, I think he has some spiritual workers who did. I think he has some spiritual workers who did. So again, like I said, I'm seeing this conversation online from the Black community, and I'm just like, show me where he's cooked. He's not. He's not, right. He is still intact. He's still intact. Show me where he lost his entire fortune. Show me where he lost. Show me. Show me. Session Mara says Diddy is doing just fine. Sexy RN says he is living it up in prison. He pays people and the guards. Right. We all know what happens in a lot of these prison systems. We all know. Sexy RN says he won't. No evidence except the word of the person who said he did it, and those trials are postponed. Exactly. Remember the allegations around him doing something to Kid Cudi's car? What did Kid Cudi get in court and say? Like I said, right? We can want him to be there forever, all we want to, but we have to remember that we also operate in reality, and the reality is, Q is speaking her opinion. I don't see any cooked goose. I don't see any cooked goose. I don't see any cooked goose. And I have seen, okay, I showed y'all the receipts, not last year, but the year before last. I showed y'all the receipts 2 years ago, either 1.5 to 2 years ago, where people were doing magic to get out of murder cases and all types of that stuff. I keep telling you all, people be out here doing that work. And absolutely, the elites, the powers that be, this is why they tell you not to do it. So they can keep beating your ass with the magic. So, I just had to say that because I'm just like, the goose is not cooked. You have to show me where the goose is cooked. Okay? You have to show me where the goose is cooked. And I remember watching, I watched a lot of the Law Intellect, Pam's channel, this past summer when the trial was occurring. And, she was explaining things from a lawyer's perspective. There's a possibility he might get out earlier with, if I am remembering what she said correctly. I'm not trying to lie on anyone. If I'm remembering what she said correctly, there's a possibility he might get out earlier for good behavior. But these little 2-3 years, because he already spent time in there, these 2-3 years, and he's probably going to file appeals. Sexy RN says they discovered from Lil Rob's deposition that he recorded 24/7. They wanting those recordings. I said, yeah. So again, I know that, and you have to remember that 50 is petty. 50 is petty. He does petty shit, right? And I'm not saying 50 is not bringing factual information. I'm not saying I haven't watched it yet. Probably will, maybe this weekend or something like that, or next week. I haven't watched it yet, so I don't know the entirety of the conversation that's being had per this Diddy documentary. But I'm sorry, the goose is not cooked. It's not. It's not. And this is why I tell you all, like, there are conversations, and then I'm seeing the conversations about destiny swapping and all like that. I'm seeing the destiny swapping conversations and all like that. Listen, you can do a lot with magic. You can absolutely do a lot with magic. You can't have exactly what someone has, but you can get pretty close. You can get pretty close. But like I said, the goose being cooked, then no goose has been cooked. No goose has even been bought. No goose has been cooked. The goose is still swimming in the lake. The goose has not been caught, killed, plucked, cleansed, seasoned, let alone cooked. So this is why I tell you all, like, I want you to understand that the greater world around you, they doing the magic. They are getting off, okay? I don't care what anyone says. I don't care what anyone says. Just like For example, some things just are. Look at Donald Trump. Donald Trump is a good example. Donald Trump is a good example. And he's been convicted of things. He's been convicted. Where is his goose being cooked? Where is his goose being cooked? There is no goose cooking. There is no goose cooking. Okay. It's not. So I am not here to tell you all what to do, but I will say that you can't listen to everyone who's talking about things online. Everyone is not a spiritual worker. Everyone does not work in the same don't work with the same type of magic. There's a lot of people out here scared, and a lot of people are projecting onto Diddy that their gooses will be cooked if they were in the same position. We cannot put we don't live in the same realm as the extremely wealthy and the powers that be. We don't live in their realms. They do things completely different. And you have to understand, if someone is that fucked up, deranged, that much of a degenerate, doing some of anything, then they will absolutely be doing some type of any type of magic to keep themselves afloat. Okay? Your goose might be cooked if you got them 2-3 years. That is a win. He got away on. It's actually a W. It's actually a win. People are talking about, oh, his name is sullied. Oh, they don't want to work with him. All these secrets are being exposed. For those of us in the Black community, we have known a lot of this. But where's the proof? We have known a lot of this, but we don't have the defining smoking gun, one for proof, or to come up with charges. And again, you can't project your not making it in prison for these 2-3 years according to him and put that on him. You can't do that. You can't do that. You cannot do that. There are plenty of people that would still deal with Diddy. Okay. And one of the things that I remember from the recorded court receipts, the court receipts from Diddy's trial this past summer, one of the ladies that was testifying against Diddy, but then when they asked her, okay, so you went back to him for help with your career. So even though she knew he was a disgusting degenerate, she still went back to him for help with her career. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. And that was part of recorded court testimony. And I'm not talking about Cassie. I'm talking about the other lady. I don't know her name, but he was disgusting. He did all these things, but yeah, you go back to him with help for your career. What does that say? What does that say? And I promise you, she wouldn't be the only one. Whether you like him or not, all of the accusations and whatnot, listen, it's plenty of people that would be fine with this, with working with him, especially if it's not known. You have to remember that a lot of people will do some fucked up shit as long as other people don't know. As long as other people don't find out about it, they'll do some fucked up shit, including working with him again or creating a business or whatever. And I honestly think that Diddy was a quote unquote public sacrifice to keep all the disgusting shit that a lot of these elites and the powers that be do. I honestly think he was the token sacrifice, but hell, that wasn't even a full sacrifice of 15-20 years. That was 2-3 years. Okay. CM1 says fans gonna have amnesia as soon as he out. They don't care. Exactly. You have to be someone who is moral and principled. Okay. To turn away stuff like that. I remember, and ladies, you all know, how many of you ladies have ever been asked if you would sleep with, hypothetically, if you would hypothetically sleep or leave your man for Jay-Z or some other person who's very wealthy. Put a one in the chat if you've seen one of those conversations online, or if someone ever asked you, would you leave your husband, boyfriend, or whatever for someone like Jay-Z? Okay, I'm speaking for myself. I've been asked that, and every time I said no, they looked at me like I was crazy. I'm like, I don't know this person. He's not attractive, and he gives me bad vibes. But they think just because somebody is wealthy that you are going to drop all of your morals, right? For some shit like that because a person is wealthy. These are the people that we out here live in society with. Okay. These are the people that we live in society with. So many do not have morals, and they will do some fucked up shit as long as no one finds out about it. Okay. I see the one. Sexy RN put one. Sexual Mars put one. CN1. She put. Absolutely. Absolutely. So I want you all to understand you can't look at the world through the lens of your um morals and decency, because the world is not moral nor decent. Right now, the world energy is degeneracy and doing anything for money, selling out people, families, communities. There's a global human trafficking, sex trafficking ring, right? Where they're doing who God knows what to people. Okay. You can't impose your morals upon other people that have proven themselves to be degenerate. So I want you all to remember that. Natasha says they have all cursed their offspring. You have to understand they don't care. For a lot of people, children are just what happens when you have sex. For a lot of people, these children were not planned. They have them because the children are here and you can't unbirth a child. You can't unfertilize an egg. Natasha, baby, you have to. Everybody don't care about their children. They have them. Everybody don't care about their children because they're, decent people would make sure that what they're doing is, good and for the safety and benefit of their children. And you can't think like that, Natasha. You can't think like that. You're thinking like you. You have to first care about them. You have to care about them first. I'm just saying. A lot of people had children because whoops, they got pregnant. And either found out too late and couldn't get an abortion, or they just wanted the idea of children. And there's a lot of people out here that are parents that shouldn't be. Hmm. Hmm. So the whole cursing the children, you curse it. Listen, I hear you. These people don't think like that. They don't think like that. Look at Nicki Minaj. Married a whole predator. She wasn't thinking about children or the potential of children with said person. So I want you all to understand that. Um, I really want you all to understand that. So, you know, it is usually their offspring that takes them out and steals their money. I was watching a documentary about the Astor son. I mean, listen, the quote unquote conspiracy theory about the Astors is that Rockefeller had them bumped off on the Titanic. So, imagine being someone who is so hell bent on overtaking your competitors or winning to the point that you would um sink an entire cruise ship full of people. People who are that sick and degenerate, baby, they ain't worried about you. They gonna step on you. They ain't got no morals. And that's what I want you all to understand. Okay. Hey girl. So, the Astors and them, they had plenty of problems before that. Okay. So I mean, like I said, as far as Diddy goes, the goose is not cooked. I don't see it. These other lawsuits and stuff like the goose is not cooked. It's not. Hey boo, the goose is not cooked. So, you know, yeah, you know. She said Ursula came and took my voice. Okay. I hope you didn't sell it to her. You said that happened in 2009. I mean, like I said, I don't see any goose cooking for any of these people. I don't. And a lot of them know. They know what's happening. They know what's going on, but they protect it. Look at Queen Elizabeth. Queen Elizabeth knew that Andrew was up to some fuck shit. Queen Elizabeth knew that her son, Andrew, was on some fuck shit and she protected him. Now, I'm not a mother. I don't know what it's like to be a mother, but I'm not protecting my son or my children. I mean, of course, I'm saying that I don't have children, but imagine your child is out here and you know they're doing some fuck shit and you're protecting them from it. She protected Andrew from doing the fuck shit he was doing. The alleged, let me just say alleged, the alleged raping of underage girls. She knew and she did nothing. She protected him. We just saw that King Charles is, stripping the titles and, we just saw Charles, okay, doing something about, the allegations as it pertains to his brother. This is the world we live in. So unless people, losing all their money, getting 20 years in jail, or potentially the victims, come together and they get to beat the person's ass or whatever. Until we're seeing stuff like that, y'all need to stop living in this fantasy reality. Y'all need to stop living in this fantasy reality. And I'm really wondering if the current astrological transits what is having people talk about his goose is cooked. Because baby, the Lulu is at high levels right now. But there's astrological reasoning for that. But the Lulu is at high levels right now. The Lulu is on high. The Lulu levels are high right now. Okay, high. So it just is what it is. It just is what it is. So I just have to say that. I just have to say that. So let me she said I'm staring at the full moon now. It's not full yet, it's not exact yet, but yes, 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 yes. The moon is out there. All right. So let me bring this chart in. Let me bring this chart in. Um, Let me bring this chart in. Share screen. And we gonna pray. Let the chart act right today. Okay. We're gonna pray that StreamYard act right today. All right, y'all. Let me move this right here. All right. Let me see if I can make this bigger. Because I hate when it looks cut off like that. Ah, okay. That's so much better. Yay. Yeah, feel better growing process. Feel better. All right, y'all. So this is, today we're going to talk about and have a conversation about a lot of different things. So I just want you to listen with your spiritual ears. I want you to just take a moment to absorb the information. Um because today we will be experiencing the last full moon of calendar year 2025, right? Um the new calendar year begins very very soon. Um So I'm just going to be talking generally about just the energies and cycles and everything like that. So, all right. So today is December 4th, 2025. And today, here in the United States, around the world, all of us will be experiencing um, the last full moon of 2025, which is a full moon in Gemini. And we can see that here in the chart. Okay. Full moons occur when the sun is directly opposite the moon. Okay. Those are full moons. And new moons is when the sun is absolutely conjunct the moon. They're sitting right next to each other, same degree in the same sign. So, the December 2025 full moon in Gemini, my chart is set for San Jose, California, because it's where I live. It's going to occur today and let me just make myself a little bit smaller. It's going to occur today at 3:14 p.m. California time, which will be 6:14 p.m. New York East Coast time. Okay. So we still have some time. The moon is starting to perfect. The moon is starting to get in place for the exact moment of this full moon. Okay. And we can look here, we can see there's a lot going on in this chart, right? But that's okay. We're going to talk through it. We're going to talk through it. So, when we're talking about the planets in our solar system, the planets that make up the planets, when we are talking about astrological charts, the planets' movements, we're talking about a lot of times we're talking about cycles and we're talking about planetary energy as cycles begin or as cycles end. And again, full moons is when the moon is opposite the sun. Okay. And a full moon, once we reach the full moon, we have reached the end of a moon cycle. Okay. Our moon is the fastest moving of our planets in the solar system. Okay. The moon, the moon cycle is really just 2 weeks, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. Okay. So it takes 2 weeks for the moon to get to grow and to wax and wane. So let's take a look here. So this full moon is occurring at 13 degrees of Gemini. Who can tell me why this is important? This is important because we just had Mercury going through a retrograde. The moon is in Gemini for this upcoming full moon in less than an hour. The moon is in Gemini. Gemini is a sign that is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury is currently in Scorpio. So Mercury is absolutely a player in the energies of this full moon today. So, with this full moon, We are at an end of a cycle. We are at an end of a cycle. The next full moon is not until January 3rd or 4th, 2026. Okay. So we are at the end of the cycle. So here at the end of this cycle, ask yourself, what types of things have you been alerted to? What types of things in your life, the past couple days, even up to a couple days after today, because you can really pull the full moon energy a day or two before, the day of, and a day or two after the full moon. Okay. So, what types of things have been illuminated? What types of things is the light being turned on for you for? Okay. So, I just want you to think about things. We're at the end of the calendar year of 2025, right? Mercury was retrograde, showing you where you probably needed to slow down, showing you where mistakes have occurred, maybe making some trouble for you, maybe not making some trouble for you. So as of today, I want you all to think about what types of things have come to light for you today. What is the light being shown on? What areas of spiritual, mental, physical darkness have now been illuminated? Okay. I want you to think about that for just a moment. Okay. Starry Eyed says, I'm feeling Gemini ish. People I usually smile at, I'm ready to cuss the fuck out. I don't know if that applies, but it's true. Okay. And listen. I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying. I definitely understand what you're saying, because if we're looking here at the chart, okay, yes, the moon is going to be full at 13 degrees of Gemini, but the moon is ruled by Mercury in this chart, because Gemini is an air sign that's ruled by Mercury. Mercury is in Scorpio. Okay, so Scorpio is a fiery, watery sign. Scorpio is a water sign, but Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Okay, so we're pulling that Mars energy in, and Mars is in Sagittarius right now. But look at Mercury. Mercury is almost in direct opposition with Uranus. So Mercury being in Scorpio, opposite Uranus, there's a potential for emotionally unnerving news to come today. There's a potential for emotional outbursts. There's a potential for things that are sudden, sharp, and jagged to be revealed to you either yesterday, today, tomorrow, even going into Saturday, right? And there's a potential for all of that to come up, because, again, remember, Mercury just got out of that retrograde, but Mercury is still in the shadow. Mercury is in its post shadow phase, and we're dealing with this post Mercury retrograde energy until about December 12th, December 13th, something like that week. Okay. So, again, I want you all to think about that. Also, today, with this full moon that has not yet occurred, we're moving towards that. Okay. I know we can all see the big blue triangle here. Big blue triangle here. So we have what is almost, I mean, it is, we have a grand water trine occurring with Mercury at 22 degrees of Scorpio, applying in a trine to Saturn in Pisces. Okay. Applying to this trine of Jupiter down here. Jupiter is currently retrograde in Cancer. So we have this grand water trine going on, lots of emotions, lots of things being kicked up. Um, Lots of emotions, lots of things being kicked up. Okay. Okay. Starry Eyes says, my son. Okay. She also says, found out another family member died early too. I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry to hear that. So yeah, I just mentioned the potential for shocking and jarring news. That absolutely applies, unfortunately. And I'm so sorry to hear that, Starry Eyed. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope that you and your family take care of each other during this difficult time, right? I hope that you take care of each other at all time. So yeah, this is absolutely this illumination, this illumination of things. Now, the biggest thing that I want to say about this full moon is that this full moon is in Gemini. Gemini is an air sign, but Gemini is also a mutable sign. Okay. Gemini is a mutable sign. The mutable signs are Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, and Virgo. Gemini is a mutable sign. So I want you to think about this in terms of this is the end of the year. This is the end of the 2025 calendar year. Not only are we having a full moon, the last full moon of 2025, but this is a full moon with the moon at the end of its cycle, with the moon occurring in a mutable sign. It is making way for change. So ask yourselves, what types of things do you feel like you need to change? The time is absolutely set for you to figure that out, okay? Because the moon here, 13 degrees of Gemini, but the sun is also at 13 degrees of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is our mutable fire sign that is ruled by Jupiter. This is absolutely a good time for you all to figure out, to understand, to think about what types of things can you change? What types of things do you want to change? Maybe those are changes you want to make as far as um friend groups, social media. This full moon is occurring on this Gemini Sagittarius axis, okay? That is very mutable. The veil is thin enough for you to begin to initiate some change, okay? The veil is thin enough for you all to be able to initiate some change. But whatever the change is, make sure that you are fully looking at it. Make sure you are fully looking at what needs to change, what you should change, and think about why you should change these things. Okay? Think about why you should change these things because this is the time of year. Okay, we get to the end of the calendar year. We're thinking about making changes in 2026. You know, a lot of people, New Year resolutions, they're going to resolve to do something different, be more adventurous, be more outgoing, lose weight, get healthy, mend relationships with families and friends, start a new business, start school, whatever it is. We all know that we are at the doorstep of calendar year 2026, and people are going to start to think about what they're going to change about themselves next year. This is the time to do it. This is the time to do it, especially with our good buddy old pal here, Saturn, which has station direct in Pisces. So the trash bag, the cosmic trash bag, is still open. The cosmic trash bag is still open. Okay. The cosmic trash bag is still open. For those of you who are have Taurus as a rising sign, this is absolutely hitting you in your second house. Okay. I think maybe let me think about it for a couple minutes. I don't know if I want to go through like full on rising signs as far as horoscopes for this full moon, but I really just want you all to think about things. Um think about things and think about what kind of changes you can make because this is a time for you to make these changes. Okay. Now, um, take this energy. I'm telling you all to take this energy because, again, this is the change making energy. You have time to make the changes or begin to make the changes, begin to implement those changes before before the moon moves into Cancer. Cancer is a cardinal sign. Okay, Cancer is a sign where it is an initiator. Okay, it is an initiating sign. Okay, so our zodiac signs, we have 4 elements, but we have 3 types of signs. Okay, we have 3 types of signs. We have the initiating signs, the signs that maintain, and the signs that break things down. So right now, God, the universe, Mother Nature, whatever you want to call it, is giving you the okay to break down what needs to be broken down and make a plan of how you are going to move forward and change the things. You have both of the luminaries, okay? Both of our luminaries, the sun and the moon, both of these luminaries are in signs that love change, in signs that are adaptable, in signs that are flexible, in signs that are transitionary period signs, in signs that break things down before the next energetic change begins. This is the time. Starry Eyed said release. Absolutely. But when you release something, what are you going to replace it with? See, when you remove something, you have to fill the space up with something new, or else you'll have a spiritual vacuum that will allow some of anything. It's the same way I tell you all when you're cleansing, or like when they say that the leader of the gang is unalived, and the leader of the gang unalive, now there are other people vying for the power, right? You cannot remove something without replacing it with something else. You have to fill the vacuum with something else for something else to take space, right? So what are you releasing? And if you're releasing something, if you're making the changes, what are you making the changes from to what? So don't just think about things in a state of absolutes. This full moon in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Mercury is our planet of communication, of writing, of plans, of even commerce, the internet, relationships between people, being social. If you are making changes, what are you changing? What from what to what? How are you filling that space? How are you feeling that filling that space? Because it is the time for change. And I want you all to also remember this. It is the time for change because we are moving forward into we're still in fall. We are still in the season of autumn here in the northern hemisphere. Winter is coming on December 21st, 22nd. Winter is coming. So this is absolutely the intermediary, the change period before we get to one of the polar opposites. Okay. Spring is that spark that initiates life, growth, change. Summer is where we keep that momentum going. And then fall is when we take time to review things. How are things going? And then make those changes before you get so stuck in those ways, before you get stuck in something. So before things get stuck and set in, okay, what are you going to change? What are you going to change? How are you going to change? Are you writing this down? Are you taking notes? Are you taking notes? Because we are about to, and I've said it before a few times throughout the year, Okay. And this is part of the energy of, if you think about numerology, when you think about evens and odds, okay, this is 2025. 2025 is a 9 year. 2 plus 2 plus 5, that's 9. 2025 is a 9 year. A new cycle is beginning in 2026. Okay. And that is the risk, that is the shakiness, the unstableness of odd numbers. Okay. We like even numbers. We like things to be balanced, right? 2025, calendar year 2025 is coming to an end. So right now with this full moon in Gemini, when both the sun and the moon are in these mutable signs, these signs that allow for change, these signs that break things down in a 9 year, okay? 9 is the end of a cycle before a new one begins, because 2026 is bringing in a lot of permanent changes. Okay? So while you have time, this is pretty much your last, this is your last one of the last energetic changes you're going to have before this calendar year ends. What are you going to do with this opportunity that you've been given? Are you going to review things so that you can implement new changes? Are you going to review? Okay. Because when winter comes, okay, when the sun finally moves into Capricorn and we have our winter solstice, that is going to be initiating the energy of stillness, the energy of endings, death. So we absolutely end calendar year 2025 in that slowed down energetic matrix. Okay. So I want you all to think about that. Starry Eyed says, so I was right about that word. Nice. I plan to replace cannabis with breath work and meditation. Are we supposed to say it? You can say it. And there you go. I mean, I think that's absolutely wonderful. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because you said you plan to replace that with breath work and meditation. Breath work is air, it's breathing. Okay, so that's bringing in some of that Gemini, mercurial energy. Meditation, okay, meditation, a spiritual practice, a grounding practice. Okay, so that relates to Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter. Jupiter rules a lot of the spiritual, esoteric, um, occults, right? So you're absolutely working energetically on this axis, on this axis. But yeah, this is the last one. This is the last one, ladies and gentlemen. This is the last one, ladies and gentlemen, for 2025. This really is the review time. It really is time for this review. Now, show of hands, put a 1 in the chat if you would like me to kind of talk about where things may be occurring per your rising sign. Put a 1 in the chat if you want me to go through the 12 signs, the 12 rising signs. As far as the places where this full moon energy will be occurring for you, put a 2 in the chat if you good, if you're done. Okay, so I didn't have to go too far up with that. Okay, so seeing one says 1, sorry, I won. Okay, so y'all talking about the 1. Okay, 1. Okay. All right. So let me just start here. Let me start here. So we're going to start with Taurus and we're going to end with Aries, right? Um okay. You all are welcome. Okay, make sure you all hit the like button, and when this video is over, make sure that you're sharing this with someone, in case there's someone you know that maybe needs to hear this. Okay. So let's just start here. Let's just start here. So for those of you who are a Taurus rising sign, for those of you who are Taurus rising, and you have to know your chart. I know some of y'all's charts in the chat because I've had client sessions with you all, but just generally, you need to know your rising sign. And this isn't going to be the end all be all of what this full moon will mean for you. I'm just talking generally because everyone's chart is different, right? Okay. So for Taurus rising, the full moon is occurring in your second house. Stop laughing, starry eyed. The full moon is occurring in your second house. This is the second house of things that you personally value. Um, what types of things do you own? Your personal possessions, values, how you make your money, things like that. So this may be illuminating. Maybe you need to change how you're spending your money. I'm just saying, maybe, it's maybe. Maybe you need to change how you're spending your money. Maybe you need to change what you're spending your money on. Maybe you need to cut back on spending altogether. But this is a time for that. Okay. Every day that we're still here and every day that the sun spins, every day that we're still here, every day that life and nature and planets still exist is another day for us to change things. But this is just a good moment for you. So you may be thinking about what you spend your money on, how you spend your money, how much money you're spending. This will be a good time for you to think about, well, what do I really value? I know a lot of people right now are thinking about um consumerism, capitalism, and how this unending push to be consumers, to always buy things, isn't healthy. So maybe you're thinking about that. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about that. Maybe you're thinking about um the people that you value talking to as far as like relationships and stuff. Maybe you're thinking about that. Okay. But this is absolutely, understand, this is on the second house, eighth house axis for you. So maybe you're thinking about how you're spending. Maybe you're married and you're having a conversation with your spouse about how you spend money. What do you all do as a partnered couple when you're spending money? Because this, like I said, this is happening on the second house, eighth house axis. Eighth house is other people's money, um, death, inheritance, taxes, right? Those things. So this is activated for you today, especially your second house. So think about that. Mercury is in Scorpio in your seventh house. So this is absolutely going to play into your seventh house, is your seventh house of relationships with other people, right? Whether it's personal or business, right? Relationships with other people. So how are you feeling in as it pertains to your relationships with other people? Okay. Is there something that you need to say? Is there something that you need to say? Because remember, this moon is ruled by Mercury. Mercury just came out of being retrograde. Okay. And so for many people who are particularly if they have prominent Gemini placements, your mind may not be as lucid or as fast thinking and moving as it normally would be because Mercury was just retrograde. But yeah, so you may be thinking about, like I said, second house stuff, your wealth, how you make money, how you earn money, um, what's going on at work, what's your money doing at work, how are your stocks and stuff looking, all these things. So it's so funny. Mr. Hoodoo, he's a Taurus rising. And he was talking to his brother last night on the phone. And he was on speakerphone. So, I heard the conversation or whatever. And his brother, Mr. Hoodoo's brother, who lives in Florida, was looking for cars for Mr. Hoodoo to buy. Mr. Hoodoo has always wanted a 69 Camaro, right? And he had one years ago, but he sold it. So Mr. Hoodoo wants another 69 Camaro. And just last night, okay, his brother was showing him this car. He was just like, "Oh, it's only 25,000. It's only 25,000. You can buy the car." And Mr. Hoodoo last night was just like, "Oh, I could buy the car, but I'm gonna stay disciplined, right?" So these are conversations that absolutely do happen for a lot of people. And like I said, conversations about what are you spending your money on? How are you spending your money? What is your game plan for money in the future? Um, Personal possessions, uh, material possessions, money, income, things like that. What is it that you value? Okay. All right. So let me go ahead and move the chart. So let me go ahead and move the chart, and I'm going to put the chart back in because you can't see this anyway. Um and then we're going to move to those of you who have Gemini rising, okay? All right. So, for those of you who have Gemini rising, okay, are there any Gemini risings here in the chat? Anybody? Okay. Well, whether you're here or not, okay, for those of you who are Gemini rising signs, this full moon is happening in your first house. This is your first house of self. Okay. So, how are you taking care of yourself? How are you taking care of yourself? Maybe you're thinking about who you are as a person. What type of person are you? What types of things about yourself are you okay with? What types of things about yourself can you change? Okay. I feel like you may be someone that has a lot to think about. Has a lot to think about because like I said, this full moon is occurring here in your first house. And it is in direct opposition to this seventh house. And these are angular houses. So I feel like this full moon is especially powerful and meaning for those of you who are Gemini rising because this literally is you, your first house of self versus the house of relationships with other people. Okay. So yeah, CS and Sleepy B, I want you all to tell me like what types of things are you thinking about? Because like I said, this is occurring in your first house. So this is illuminating things about yourself. Maybe it's re-illuminating things about yourself. Maybe you've ignored some things, or maybe you realize that it's time to make some changes for yourself, not for other people, not for other people to necessarily like you, but maybe you're thinking about initiating changes for yourself. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about things and things that you want to change yourself. Maybe you're thinking about, you might be thinking about some travel, local travel. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about um, using your voice. Are you speaking up more? Could you be speaking up more? Has your voice been silenced? Okay. Things for you to think about. Things for you to absolutely think about. Okay, y'all said CS says me, sun, and rising. Okay, so you have okay, so this is okay, this is definitely gonna be hitting for you. Hello, regular ass B. She said Aries, sun, Gemini rising. Okay. CS said I started a job in January, so I've been thinking about my career and where I want to go and releasing the mess that happened on my last job. Amen. I hear that. I hear that. And yes, I'm gonna email you back. Yes, I'm gonna email you back so we can set something up. But absolutely, this is your first house of self. Okay. So, first house of self, thinking about you, yourself. Okay. Thinking about you, yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Okay. Yes. I love to hear that for you. But yeah, thinking about yourself. This will be a good time to think about how you approach life, right? Because this is happening to you yourself, how you approach life. I would also say for those of you who are Gemini risings, make sure that you are paying attention to your health. Okay. Be careful, try not to stub your toes and things like that because Moon transits to the first house and the sixth house. Sometimes they come with health warnings. Again, this is not a health stream, but just want to make sure that you all are careful over the next couple of days. Okay. She said, I got to watch my spending and get back to my regular habits again. This living situation isn't good for me. Absolutely. House of self. House of self. Okay. House of self. Movement. So, yeah. Think about these things. Think about these things. Okay. So let me move the chart forward. We're going to move into okay. So, who here is a Cancer rising sign? Who's a Cancer rising sign? Because if you're a Cancer rising sign, okay, if you are a Cancer rising sign, okay, this full moon is occurring in your 12th house. If you are a Cancer rising sign, okay, so all my Cancer risings, put your hands up. Put your hands up. She said, me, my birthday next Thursday. Okay. 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 I see y'all with y'all Cancer rising signs. Yes. 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 We love it. We love it. Okay. Okay. Well, Cancer risings, this is for you. And Sleepy B says, fiance and I are planning to move and focus on the LLC we started in 20. Listen, this is a perfect time to review that because, again, just generally overall, both the sun and the moon um are immutable signs, signs that are adaptable, sounds that are ready for transition. Okay. So absolutely go ahead, girl. Okay, so for you Cancer risings, for Cancer rising, this moon is occurring in your 12th house. Okay. This is the 12th house. This is the 12th house of ending. The 12th house of endings, healings, closure. Okay. What types of things need to end? Okay. What types of things need to end? Okay. What needs to be no more? Okay. This is the 12th house of endings. This may illuminate you to things that were hidden. Have you received some information? Maybe you're finding out or will find out. Maybe it's just maybe you will find out that someone is hiding something from you. Maybe you'll find out that information is being hidden from you. Okay, maybe you work in the workplace and you gonna find out tomorrow, or they gonna send an email over the weekend when no one is there checking email that there's gonna be some changes in the company in 2026. Maybe you'll find that hidden information. Okay. This is also the house of institutions, so governments, jails, hospitals, things like that. Maybe you'll get some information about one of those places. Maybe you have family or friends that, you find out someone has to go to the hospital. Okay. This is all the house of spirituality. So maybe you are thinking about, maybe you're thinking about you want to do better as it pertains to remembering your dreams. How many of you all remember your dreams when you wake up? Maybe this is the perfect time for you all to say, okay, I'm going to start a dream journal where I'm going to make it a plan of mine to focus on remembering my dreams in 2026. Okay. In 2026. Like I said, this is also a place of healings and closures. So if you need to move on, whatever it is that you just need to move on from, this full moon occurring in your 12th house is absolutely giving you that permission to fully move on. Okay. Fully move on. And again, we're talking about the balance of things. Okay. So this full moon occurring in your 12th house is opposite your 6th house. Okay. 6th house is our house of creation, our 6th house of day to day. Our 6th house is the house of what do you do on a day-to-day basis? Okay. What type of routine do you have? Maybe you need to change your routines. Maybe this full moon is telling you that you need to end Maybe this full moon is telling you that you need to end the self-sabotage and that you need to create a better routine for yourself in 2026. Maybe it's saying that, okay? Because this is the axis of endings and creation. 12th house endings, 6th house of creation. Okay? Maybe you need to write out your gym routine. Maybe you need to write out your gym routine for 2026. Okay? How many of y'all are trying to work on y'all fitness in 2026? Maybe now is a time for you to have an honest conversation with yourself and say, yes, I know I need to go. I know I need to go to the gym. Okay. So I'm going to take my ass to the gym in 2026. But in order for me to be successful making this change, I'm make sure I write my shit down. So when I go to the gym, I'm not wondering what the hell I need to do. Or maybe you're someone that realizes that you can't work out by yourself and you need to be instructor-led in an instructor-led Zumba class. So go take your ass and go get your go pull up the internet, go pull up GoGo. Okay, go pull up GoGo, aka Google. Go pull up GoGo and look at the gyms near you that have online classes or where you can see the class schedule and print that damn schedule out, right? Because you know that you need to do better so you can get your schedule together for 2026. Okay? For 2026. Not Empress Kid saying me. Girl, what you saying me to? Or is it you? Or is it you? Are you a Cancer rising and you need to get your shit together? Is that what you're saying? Are you a Cancer rising and you need to get your shit together? Because maybe that's what this full moon is telling you. Maybe that's what this full moon is telling you. Okay? Because the 12th house is the house of places, institutions, and the gym is an institution. And you said you got to find the time, girl. Find you some time. Okay? So yeah, this full moon, for those of you who are Cancer rising, is illuminating your 12th house of endings. What do you need to put a stop to? What needs to end? What conversation do you need to have with someone to end this shit? Or what you need to do and figure it out so that you're balancing out with your 6th house of creation. Okay, you got to find the time, girl. And Empress, you know you need to find the time because KK said she ain't taking care of you. So you need to go get your workout plan together because KK said, Mama, I'm not taking care of you when you get older. So go get your workout plan together and find the time, baby. And find the time. Amen. Okay, so let me move the chart along. Okay, so all right. So for those of you who are Leo rising, who here's a Leo rising? Who here's a Leo rising? I'm going to raise my hand because according to my mama, I'm a Leo rising. So this may be for me. This may be for you. Okay, this may be for me. This may be for you. Okay, real quick. Empress, can KK hear me? Can she hear me? KK girl, I'm just repeating what you said. See, I told your mama she need to go get right because you said you ain't gonna take care of her. So she need to go get on Kanye's workout plan right now. Okay, I'm just repeating what you said. Okay, amen. Okay. So if you are a Leo rising, like I said, my mom told me the time when I was born, the time she think I was born. So for right now, I'm a Leo rising. Okay. Right now, I'm a Leo rising. So for all my fellow Leo risings, this full moon is occurring in your 11th house, the 11th house of friendships. Okay. The 11th house of friendships. And then it's going to be, we down here. Now I know I said creativity here, but we got creativity and routine and shit here. Listen. Okay, so for my fellow Leo rising, again, because that's what my mama say, I ain't got no time on my birth certificate, but I'm a roll with Leo rising. Okay, I've been rectifying my own chart. Baby, You need to check these people. Who in your inner circle can you really rely on? Okay, for my Leo risings, this full moon is happening in your 11th house. Who in your inner circle can you really trust? Okay, who can you really trust? Okay, who are your friends? Who are your real friends? Who are your real friends? Okay, who are these people? Show me your friends and I'll show you the person. Do you need to drop one of these people? Is one of these people a degenerate? Okay. Now, me, myself, and I, this is the 11th house of social groups, okay, like sororities and fraternities. Okay, baby. And I know my dues. It's almost time for me to pay my AKA dues for 2026. So this full moon is illuminating to me, okay, that I might get the email saying, "Hey girl Q, it's time to pay your financial dues for 2026." I'm waiting for the email myself. I'm waiting for the email myself because I know it's coming. I know I have to pay my coins to Big AKA. I know it's coming. Okay, I know it's coming, but this is really illuminating you to who are your friends, who are in your friend groups, what's going on in your friend groups. Are there conversations that you need to have with other people? Are there conversations that you need to have with other people? And if so, you need to go ahead and have them conversations. Okay, networking for those of you who are Leo risings. Okay, this full moon is okay. What's going on at work? Are you networking at work? Are you networking among people that you could be networking with? Okay. How much of a benefit would it be for you to expand your associate groups, your friend groups, your associations, your networking? Okay. It's just a question. It's just a question. Check your technology. Okay. Check your technology. But I really feel like because Gemini is a social sign, excuse me, ruled by Mercury, check your networks, check your friend groups, check your alliances. Check these things out. Okay. Check these things out. Now, growing process said, you just said this to me last week. Listen, if the messengers need to keep messaging, then let them message. Let them do what they're gonna do. Let them do what they're gonna do. Okay. Because the messages are here for everybody. Messages are here for everybody. Okay. You said yes, KK is listening. KK, like I said, I'm just repeating what you said. She told me what you said. I'm repeating what you said. So, Empress, find your ass some time and go to the gym. Okay. Or be at home and turn on Grow with Joe YouTube channel and do some of them cardio workouts. Okay. Okay. Go order you some weights from Five Below. Okay. 2 pounds, 3 pounds, 5 pounds, 10 pound dumbbells. Okay. And then go to Fitness Blender channel and get your workout on. You ain't even got to go to the gym. You can do it in your living room. You can do it in your living room. But KK said, Mama, it ain't happening. So get it together now. Okay, get it together now. Okay. Starry Eyes said she following Megan's. Listen, follow Megan's workout plan if you're ready to burn. Okay. If you're ready to burn. Okay. Sweet as the silhouette said, I sure did work out this morning. Listen, I'm yeah, I did a little mini workout this morning. I did 40 minutes of cardio. Okay, I might do a little bit more a little bit later. But y'all gotta get it together. Okay. So that's you if you are a Leo rising sign. Okay, so we're gonna be moving the chart. Let's move the chart to um let's see what's up. Okay, so if you are a Virgo rising sign, this is for you. If you are a Virgo rising sign, this is for you. Okay, this full moon is going to be occurring in your 10th house. It's going to be occurring in your 10th house. Your 10th house of social status, your 10th house of where you're most visible. Okay. So, listen, maybe you don't want to be seen, but you're going to have to be seen. You're going to have to be seen. You're going to have to be seen. This full moon is occurring in your 10th house, okay? Um, what are you doing? I kind of feel like you may need to have some questions about boundaries. You may have to have some questions about boundaries, questions about who you allow to be close to you, okay? But what is happening to who you are and how you see people? Do people really see the real you? Do people see the real you, or do people see this mask that you put on and go outside with every day? Okay. This is your 10th house. Okay. This is public house. Everybody sees you, but are they seeing the real you? Okay. If you are protecting yourself from being seen, why is that? Why is that? Okay. But this is absolutely, this is the 10th house, fourth house. Okay. This has the potential to, maybe there are some conversations about people you grew up with, conversations about the past that you need to have. Okay. Maybe there were some things that happened in your past that shaped who you are and how you view yourself, or how you want the world to view you. How does the world see you? How does the world view you? That's a question I think you should ask right now, because this is your most public area of the chart. Okay. Most public areas of the chart. And since this is where everyone sees you, what type of person do they see? What types of things about yourself should you change so that people see the real you when you're outside in public? Okay. This has the potential to bring you some news or information about your career, right? About your career, what you do professionally for work. Maybe y'all are getting some emails about restructuring. Maybe you're getting some emails about um, you know, something that's very important in an email at work. Maybe you're getting that communication because remember, Mercury is just coming off of Mercury's retrograde. Okay, Mercury retrograded, started in Sagittarius and moved back into Scorpio. Okay, things slowed down for a little bit, or things were a little bit weird. So it wouldn't shock me if you find out something at work, or you find out some tea at work. It wouldn't shock me. Again, for those of you who are Virgo risings, this full moon is occurring in your 10th house, but it is occurring on your 10th house, fourth house axis. The fourth house is one of our private houses. This is one of our foundational houses. Things that happened occurred when you were growing up. Okay? When you were growing up. Okay? All right, let me see what y'all talking about here in this chat. Sweet Ace of Silhouette said, this moon has encouraged me to get up early these past few days since December 1st. Yes, yes, yes. Listen, change is good. Change is good. Sweet Ace of Silhouette, KK said, Mommy, Auntie Q knows you've been slacking. My auntie knows everything. I'm done. Listen. Okay? Let me tell y'all something. Yes, I be knowing these things. But remember, everybody gonna do their New Year's resolution for 2026. Okay, y'all remember that old meme of the black woman, leaving the stuff behind? She was climbing the stairs of what she leaving behind in the previous year. I need for y'all remember that meme from like 4 or 5 years ago? Y'all remember that meme? Okay, I need for listen, we gonna all hold each other's hands. And we're going to say 2026, we're going to do better, right? 2026, we're going to do better. Listen, we can only do better when we have honest conversations with ourselves, okay? Let us be honest with ourselves, okay? We're going to retire our excuses, okay? Okay, you know what? I need to find that. I need to find that meme just so I can put it up real quick for you. Meme stairs. Let me see if I can find that. Let me see if I can. Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it is. Here it is, y'all. Here it is. Okay. Here. I'm so mad at this, but I just listen. I need for us. I need for us to. Oh, we gonna get it together. I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up. Just real quick. Just real quick. I'm gonna pull it up. Okay, I'm gonna put it up. Let me share screen because I found it. I found it. Uh-huh. I found it. Where is that? Where is that? Where is it? No, no. This right here. Just right here. So yeah, why it's not showing up? They don't want me to share it. They don't want me to share it because y'all know. Okay, here it is, right here. Here it is. Here it is. Okay. What y'all gonna do? Y'all gonna be better, right? Okay. We just gonna replace this 2022, 2023. We're gonna replace it with 2025, 2026. Okay. For those, listen. Okay, so right now, spirit is having me to come for some of y'all edges. But after I come for the edges, we're gonna put some castor oil on it and we gonna move forward. Okay. I need spirit said, get y'all asses in gear. Spirit said, I'm giving you this damn mutable full moon so you can review and get your shit together. Spirit said, I don't want to hear you talking that bullshit in 2026 when I already gave you the tools to do better. Okay. You got accountability here. Y'all know I gave y'all, I even gave y'all some magic. Y'all remember when I shared the weight loss ritual, the 33-day weight loss ritual? Q said, okay, and it's not me, it's Spirit said, get y'all shit together. Okay. So I don't want this to be y'all next year. Okay. Because I see the post coming already. 2026 is for me, y'all. Okay. Well, make it be for you then, damn, and choose yourself and choose better. Okay. 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 Sweet A Silhouette says, I'm so tickled by your shit together. Okay. Get get y'all shit together. Okay. Everybody touch a neighbor and say, neighbor, in 2026, we got our shit together. Our shit is together in 2026. Touch a neighbor and agree, neighbor, 2026, our shit is together. Okay. Amen. All right. So I just had to, you know what I'm saying? Because we ain't gonna, okay. Okay. All right. Let me bring the chart back up again. Let me bring the chart back up again. Because y'all gonna have me here playing with y'all. Okay. So let's bring the chart back. Okay. So hey D Dub. D Dub said I'm late, girl. You right on time, girl. Okay. Did I go over okay, I did. I did go over Virgo. So now we are moving on to now let's go on and move on to Libra, okay? Let's go on and move on over to Libra. Okay. If you are a Libra rising, then this full moon is occurring for you, okay, in your ninth house, and it's occurring on your ninth house, third house axis. Okay, so what are we talking about here? We're talking about the energetic seesaw of things that are foundational to you, your house of communication, and we're talking about another one of your public houses as well. Okay, so y'all so silly. Y'all manifested. Uh-huh. Culture Reed become accountability buddies. And Tasha said, neighbor, our shit is together. Okay, amen. Right? Amen. Okay, so yeah, this is occurring for you in the ninth house. I kind of feel like you may be thinking about furthering your education. Okay. Furthering your education, but I kind of feel like for those of you who are Libra rising, I kind of feel like this may have been illuminating what do you believe? What is it that you truly believe? Because the world and society has sold us a picture of what they want reality to be and what reality really is. What do you believe? Okay. How are you changing? Or maybe you find yourself rethinking about what you knew about society. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about traveling. Maybe you'll find a good travel deal for next year. It's definitely possible. Okay. Maybe you're rethinking what you know, about the world. Maybe you are rethinking what's real. You're redefining what's real for you and what's not real for you based on who you are as a person now. Okay. Who here is a Libra rising? Who's a Libra rising? Okay, because Sexy RN says that's what I'm doing right now. Who's a Libra rising? Are you a Libra rising? I don't have your chart in front of me, so I can't peek and see. You know what? Let me check real quick. Who is a Libra rising? Yeah, I don't have your chart in front of me. But okay, let me see. Okay, well, Sexy RN, I just peeked at your chart. So you have your sun is in Libra, but you are a Scorpio rising. But listen, you can listen for your sun, moon, or rising sign. It doesn't matter to me. I'm just going by ascendant. Okay. So listen, you may be thinking about, like I said, you may be thinking about things that are you may be thinking about, like I said, what is foundational to you? What are your principles? What are your philosophies? Maybe you've seen things this year and it's making you change your stance on things. Maybe you're thinking differently about the world as it pertains to religion is going to be a hot conversation. Religion is going to be a hot conversation as we're moving into next year, because Saturn will be fully um in Aries. Neptune is going to be in Aries. Right now we have this whole we don't know what's real and what's not real thing going on, and that's going to kind of get to its height next year. But maybe those of you who are Libra risers, maybe you're thinking about what's foundational to you. What types of morals, values, as it pertains to who you are, culture, and creed. Maybe those things are changing for you. Maybe, again, like I said, this is 2025. A lot has happened this year. Maybe you have changed philosophy. There is someone that I listen to on Twitter. I'm nosy and I hang out over there on Twitter, and I listen to a lot of these quote unquote conservative people who are self-proclaimed political conservatives, and how they are no longer trusting the conservative party, how they're no longer trusting in MAGA. So they are no longer MAGA. They are no longer supporting President Trump. They're no longer supporting that conservative side, because they're just like, the things that we voted for we're not getting. And they're just like, I used to be diehard MAGA conservative, but nothing is happening according to their moral. This is what they're saying. So their philosophies and how they view things and how they view society on a philosophical level is changing. Okay. They are searching for meaning where they need new meaning, because where once they had meaning, there is none. Right. So I'm watching this change, this happen in real time with some, not all, with some people who were staunch MAGAs, right? And it's absolutely very, very fascinating. So maybe that's what's happening for you, Libra. And again, this is your ninth house, third house axis. So yeah, foundational. Okay. Maybe, because remember, this is ninth house, this is the moon. Moon is in Gemini, which is ruled by Mercury. Now, the third house is a communication house. This is the house of communication. This is the house of intelligence. This is the house of your thoughts. This is the house of education. This is the house of the foundational building blocks of who you were. This is the house of siblings, friends, co-workers. Maybe there's a conversation that's going to come up that needs to be had pertaining to something in the past, something with family. Maybe you need to have a talk with somebody because that motherfucker talking to you fucking crazy and you had enough. Maybe you need to do that, and that is okay, right? That is okay. But this is absolutely occurring for you on your and happy full moon. The full moon was perfect and exact 10 minutes ago. Maybe for you, you just need to have these conversations. You just need to have these conversations, and this moon, okay, is being illuminated. Okay, this moon is being illuminated by the sun in Sagittarius. It is really, really time for a change. And I feel like moving forward, you need to find your voice and have those conversations. But I feel like this is more and more along the lines of changing things for you philosophically. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's go to who here is a Scorpio rising besides Sexy RN. Because I know Sexy RN is. Sexy RN is. And again, for those of you who are Libra rising, maybe you're thinking about trips. You might be thinking about long distance travel. Okay. Maybe getting your next passport stamp. Maybe getting your first passport stamp. Okay. Traveling internationally. Maybe that's something for you to think about in 2026. Okay. Go with the flow and see what happens. Okay. So let's move on to Scorpio rising. Okay. So Scorpio. So this for you, Scorpio, this full moon is occurring in your eighth house. This is your eighth house of death, eighth house of transformation, eighth house of things that are hidden, eighth house of other people's money, inheritance, investments. Maybe you're thinking about investing. Maybe you're thinking about changing what you're investing in. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about investing in tech. Okay. Maybe you're thinking about maybe you need to find a new insurance company. Maybe your car insurance then got too high and you need to change car insurance. Okay, that could potentially happen, right? It's the end of the year. It's time for new year rates for 2026. Maybe that's what you need to do. Okay. This is also the house, like I said, of transformation. What does transformation look like to you? How are you transforming? Okay. What does that look like for you? Okay. This is also the house of failed relationships. I mean, no one wants to talk about failed relationships. Failed relationships, they absolutely happen. Relationships end. Okay, but it's okay. It's okay to have the conversation. And happening on your eighth house, second house axis. So we're getting into this illuminating things that you value. Okay, things that you value. What are you putting money into? Maybe you need to put more money into your investments. Maybe this is illuminating debt. Maybe you've decided that, in 2026 I'm going to work on my debt, work on my credit. Absolutely go forth and do it. So what are you going to do to fix the things here and balance with what you own, your possessions and things like that? What are you going to do? Okay. Okay. And listen, like I said, we have all this going on. Yes, we have this grand water trine for everyone. This may be an emotional time because we do have this grand water trine going on here. We do. And that's okay. That's okay. But yeah, I feel like Scorpio rising, this may be even something more for you because again, Mercury is coming off of that retrograde. We're still in the post Mercury retrograde shadow period. Mercury is in Scorpio. Okay, so this full moon is pulling in Scorpio energy because Mercury is in Scorpio, and then Scorpio is ruled by Mars. Mars is in Sagittarius. So these energies are bouncing off of each other. But again, the biggest thing is the time is now for change. This is your window. This is like your last window of 2025. So get to that change. Okay, get to that change. All right. So let's move to. Okay, so for those of you who are Sagittarius, okay, if you are a Sagittarius rising, this is happening in your seventh house. Okay, so now we're looking at the seventh house, first house. We're looking at the seventh house, first house axis. Okay, seventh house, first house axis. Okay, so you may need to have a conversation with people that you're in relationship with. Maybe you found out some information and you need to have a conversation. Maybe you're finding out, maybe you're finally seeing that you are in a relationship that you don't want to be in anymore. And that is okay. Maybe you realize that you've outgrown the relationship with this other person. And this doesn't necessarily have to be romantic relationship. This can be relationships with family members, friends, maybe the coworker that you thought was your friend. Maybe you just found out that this person who was your friend at work isn't the person that you thought that they were, and you just decide you in 2026 you're not dealing with them anymore, and that is perfectly fine. Okay, this is also illuminating. Okay, going back to seventh house, first house. Okay, so this is also bouncing back to, okay, so what are you doing as a person? What are you doing as a person? What are you doing as a person? How are your relationships with other people? Do you let these other relationships rule over you? Or maybe you're realizing that you need to choose and put yourself first. Maybe you give too much to other people and you're realizing that, and you need to tone it down and make the change. Okay. Okay. Seshamara Side Eye said, yes, I already dumped him and put up boundaries of family. Amen. Amen. This is the time for correcting things. Okay. This is the time frame to correct these things. Okay. And it's okay to correct things so that things can be better in your life. So this is really happening on your axis of you versus other people, your relationship with yourself versus your relationship with other people. How do you treat yourself? How do other people treat you? Maybe you realize that it's the end of the road for some of these relationships, and that is okay. Right? That is okay. Maybe the business partners are, maybe you found out that the people that you want to go into business with are not the people who they said they were. Maybe you found out that these people are fucking scammers and you can't be dealing with them. Okay? Make sure you have the conversation. Okay? Have that conversation. Okay? Have that conversation with people. Okay? Empress said this. Yeah. I really like how you said you already moved on and you put up the boundaries. That's what I like to hear. Taking care of yourself is important, because if you don't take care of yourself, how are you going to be um a helpful, good person and have good relationships with other people if you're not taking care of yourself? And sometimes taking care of yourself means taking out the trash. Okay? Sometimes taking care of yourself does mean ending relationships with people whose energy is not good for you. And that is okay. Right? That is okay. All right. Um yeah. That is okay. Don't be afraid to do it. I know a lot of people, always think about things that they're giving up, but what about what you will gain? What kinds of goodness will come to you when you choose better energy, when you choose energy that is healthy, when you choose energy that is uplifting, when you choose energy that is reciprocal, that you are getting back all of the goodness that you have put in? What happens when we choose that over being afraid? Okay. So it's not always about what we're giving up, it's also about what we can gain. Okay. Make sure we are choosing wisely. Have these conversations with yourself. It is okay to do so. Cosmic trash bag is open for the last time. Okay. This is the last time we're going to see Saturn in Pisces for years. Okay. Saturn is not going to be in Pisces for another, oh gosh, it's going to be a long time before Saturn returns to Pisces. Okay. Saturn is our task maker. Saturn is our consequences. Saturn is our, you are going to reap what you sow. Okay. Saturn is also the punisher, but not punishment because, you're a terrible person. Punishment because you are just going to get energetically what you deserve. Okay. And if you're not choosing, saying that you deserve better, you're just going to get the energetics of what you chose. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Let's move on to, okay. So Capricorn rising. For you as a Capricorn rising, this full moon is happening for you in your sixth house. Sixth house. Okay. So we see it here. Sixth house. So this is your sixth house, 12th house axis. Okay, so what are you doing on the day to day? What are you doing on the day to day? I feel like for Capricorn risings, you need to check your schedule. You need to see what you're doing. There's something funky going on with your routine and you need to change it. Okay. Something funky going on with your routine and you may need to change it. You definitely need to get on your exercise, your fitness, okay? You need to get on that stuff. You need to figure out what's important for you on the day to day, what you can change about the day to day, okay? What types of choices are you making as it pertains with the same 24 hours the rest of us get? What are you doing? How are you implementing the world around you to assist you in what you're doing? Okay. What is your routine? What are you doing? How are you spending your time? These are things that it's really, really, I feel like that's a focus on for this because, you know, um, routine is important. And sometimes it's very hard to unlearn routines that don't help you, right? So we want to make sure, okay, because again, for those of you who are Capricorn, um rising, so Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, okay, is structure, so it's very hard to unlearn, like when people learn incorrectly, then they got to go back and unlearn the wrong thing and then learn the correct thing. So this is good for you to figure it out because you don't want to be stuck trying to fix the routine when things get real solid. Okay. Whatever it is that you're planning on doing, whatever it is that you want to do, make sure you setting up your routine so that your routine brings you success. Do not work hard, but work smart. Rearranging things, organization, routine. This is definitely shining a light on that. Okay. It's shining a light on that. Use your tools to help you out. Okay. Starry Eyes said, I need to rearrange things for myself and my son. Now is the time. Now is absolutely the time. Now is the time for that. Okay. Because if your routine is not good, you are wasting time. You'll be ineffective. You'll have to relearn something. And then then you lose out. This creates stress, right? This creates stress. You want your foundational things to work for you. She said, I want a good structure for next semester too. Now's the time for you to work it out. Before the next semester begins, now's the time to work it out. Okay. You cannot be the good provider that you need to be if you are unorganized. Okay. You cannot be the good provider that you need to be if you are unorganized. If you can't get anything done, if you are unorganized, this does not help you. So this is going to be a turn to focusing on rearranging your structure, changing your routines, building a structure and a routine that is beneficial for you, okay, on a day-to-day basis. Okay. You cannot be of service to your family members, to your spouse, to people who depend on you if you don't have your shit together. Okay. And this is occurring on your 6th house, 12th house axis. Okay. 12th house, 6th house axis. So as you are redoing your structure, as your structure is having a good foundation, as you are reorganizing, as you are setting up good routines, don't be afraid to get rid of things. And maybe something that you need to change is, you're going to stop yourself from saying you're going to go get gas in the morning. We all know you're not going to go get gas in the morning before work. Okay. So get that gas the night before. Okay. And don't play yourself saying you're going to get some gas before you go to work in the morning, because we've all been there and we all have learned from it. We are touching neighbor. Neighbor, you are not going to go get gas in the morning before work. You know that's some bullshit that you told yourself. Okay, neighbor. So neighbor, plan better. Plan better. What you gonna do? Plan better. You're gonna do better. You're gonna plan better. You're gonna incorporate planning and scheduling into your routine so that you can be more effective. Okay? Because neighbor, we all know you're not going to go get gas before you go to work in the morning. That little 5-10 minutes to go get gas. And the traffic gonna be piled up by then. Okay. Neighbor, you are not going to just run real quick in the Dunkin' Donuts and go get your dollar coffee before work, neighbor. Okay, neighbor, we're not going to lie to ourselves like that. Okay. We're going to make a plan that if we want this coffee in the morning, we need to get up 20 to 30 minutes earlier to go get that coffee and land in Dunkin' Donuts. Okay. So you can be on time. Okay. So we ain't going to lie to ourselves like that. Okay. We ain't going to lie to ourselves like that. But this is the time for Capricorn Rising. Capricorn, it's time for you to take accountability and fix the things so that you have a better structure and routine. Okay? Y'all laughing, but we all know we've told ourselves that lie. They're just gonna be real quick to go get the gas. Okay, and then you get there, everybody at the gas pump. So you gotta wait. Or the card machine at the gas station don't work, so you gotta go pay your money to the little man inside. Okay. We all know. We all know. Okay. We all know. Okay, touch your neighbor, say amen. We all know. It's just gonna be a few minutes. Okay, that's just as bad as when they say, let me put the tip in. We all know it ain't gonna be just a tip. We all know it's gonna be more than a tip. Okay. Touch your neighbor, say amen. Say, neighbor, I know this, and I'm gonna do better. Okay, amen. All right. So okay, we gonna do better. All right. So let me bring in Aquarius. I'm sorry, y'all. I had to say it. I had to say it. Okay, I had to say it. I had to say it. It's the truth. Okay, we ain't gonna lie. We ain't gonna lie like that. We doing. Do I need to pull up the picture again? We are doing better in 2026. We ain't gonna lie to ourselves like that. Okay. Amen. All right. So Aquarius rising. This full moon is happening for you in your fifth house, the fifth house of pleasure and creativity. Okay, listen. I don't know who it is, but you might find out that you're pregnant. You might find out that Aquarius rising. You might find out that you're pregnant. You might find out that you're pregnant. I'm just saying, full moon. The moon is full and fertile. You might find out you're pregnant. Maybe you will. Maybe you won't. Mm-hmm. Oh, look at Starry Eye telling on herself. Starry Eye telling on herself. She said, "Coterie, I'm gonna do better. I did get gas this morning too. See, you see how I call it out. You see how I call it out. I told y'all. I be knowing. We've all lied to ourselves and said it was a good idea to just go get gas in the morning before we've all lied and said that. Well, we all lied and said, I know my car. I know my car. My car gonna make it. I'm gonna make it home and I'm gonna just get gas in them. We've all said. We've all said. Okay. But back to this Aquarius rising. Listen, baby. Listen. You might find out that you're pregnant if you're a woman. If you a man and you did what you did, y'all did it together. Y'all wasn't using no protection. You might find out that you're pregnant. Congratulations. Congratulations. You might find out that you're pregnant. I mean, it'd be like that. That's what happens when adults do adult things. Okay. Um, you might find out that you're pregnant, but this is occurring on your fifth house, 11th house axis. Okay, so fifth house, creativity. Okay, pleasure. Maybe you need to have a conversation with your boo thing, saying, I'm sorry, but it's not working. We need to try something else. We need to do something else. Okay, maybe you find out, um, maybe you find out that something you thought was smaller actually became something bigger. Okay, what seemed like it was a small piece of news, what seemed like it was a small piece of information turned into something real big, real quick. Okay, just like pregnancy. Starts out small, ends up being something very, very seriously, but it's happening, like I said, in your fifth house and along your fifth house, 11th house axis. Okay, fifth house, 11th house axis. So, okay, so what's going on? Maybe there's something going on at work. I feel like there could be something going on at work. Maybe you're finding out that the person that you with is for the streets. Maybe you find out that the person that you with is for the streets. Okay. Maybe, but I kind of feel like here, I kind of feel like yes, it may be creativity. Yeah, you may find out that someone is pregnant, but also it could be you may be thinking about how you want to express yourself next year. Maybe you're someone who always wanted to be an artist, or maybe you want to get into some creative hobbies. Maybe you want to do painting. Maybe you want to do sculpting. Maybe you want to work with beads. Okay. Maybe you are going to be someone that is going to, maybe you've always liked fashion. Maybe you said you're going to get into more of the fashion world, more of the art world next year. It's absolutely possible. But understand that whatever's being illuminated for you here in the fifth house, it's not going to be a small thing. It's not going to be a small thing. This is going to be something bigger. This is going to be something that could become something that really propels you forward. Okay. Something that really, really propels you forward, because here in the fifth house, things get serious really relatively quick with things that occur in the fifth house. So understand, it may seem like something minor for you, but it has the potential to grow into something very, very big, especially with, okay, especially with the opposition to your 11th house, which is currently being which is occupied by all the things that is happening here in Sagittarius, which is Jupiter rule. Okay. All right, let's move the chart along. Okay, so for those of you who are Pisces Rising, Pisces Rising, this full moon is occurring for you. Nope. This moon is occurring for you in your fourth house. Fourth house is absolutely a foundational house. Okay. This is important. Okay. This is a foundational house. This is the house of home. This is the house of things growing up. This is the house of family, family origins. Where are your people from? Okay, where you grew up. This is also house of mother issues, mother children issues. Okay. This is going to be real estate, things like that. So maybe this is illuminating issues as it pertains to family. Maybe it's time for a family meeting. It's possible that it's time for a family meeting. Maybe there needs to be a conversation about a family meeting. Maybe this is where the unfortunately, sometimes old secrets come up. The old family secrets. Okay. Who is hiding what? Maybe you're finding out something from the past. Okay. And it's a big thing. This could be, like I said, have maybe it's time to have that family conversation. And I kind of feel like more people should be having the family conversations because there are so many people out here that grow up in situations they didn't ask for. And then, as a person, you're dealing with things that you experience from growing up, and there needs to be a conversation about it. I saw something earlier on Threads, and there was this woman saying, the millennial children that go no contact. And I'm a millennial, right? I'm a millennial. But the fact that there's parents out here saying the millennial children that go no contact, they're not understanding some of the bullshit that they did to make their children go no contact with them. So maybe this is illuminating that. Maybe there's the conversation that's had or needs to be had about some bullshit from the past, and it needs to be had. And then whatever happens after that, whatever happens, when you have that conversation, is how you're going to move forward. Maybe you'll move forward after this, um, ready to heal, go to therapy, ready to reconnect these relationships, or maybe you just like, what, fuck it. Since you don't understand and you don't want to hold yourself accountable for things that I had no control over when I was a child, I'm going to go no contact because this is the safest thing for me. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. Okay. Maybe you're finding out something about the family house. Maybe you're finding out something about the family house. This is maybe there's looking into relationships with your siblings and your parents, because it's absolutely foundational. Absolutely foundational. Okay. Traditions. Maybe you're looking to start new traditions with your family and your children. Maybe you want to do things differently for your children and for your family. Maybe you want to start those new traditions. Maybe you want to detach from some of the toxicity that you experienced growing up. Maybe that's what you want to do. But this is absolutely occurring on your fourth house, 10th house axis. Okay. This, I really feel like you're going to start to get the healing that you need whenever the revelations or the thing comes as it pertains to this full moon in Gemini. Because again, the cosmic trash bag is open. It's ready for you to make the changes that you need to make and implement to move forward with yourself for the betterment of yourself and any children that may depend on you. Okay, so let's we're almost done. All right. So, and we are at the last sign here. Who here is an Aries rising? Aries rising? Any Aries rising here? Okay, for those of you who are Aries rising, this full moon is happening for you, okay, in your third house, another foundational house, house of communication, right? Travel. Hey, the Real Brown Family Chronicles. Hey, this is another foundational house. another foundational house. Okay. The moon being in this house. Okay. How do you feel as it pertains to um the conversations that you have with people? How are you feeling about some of these siblings? Some of these siblings, some of these like how are you feeling? It's okay to have the conversations because this is third house, okay? Third house, ninth house. Okay, so things that are personal to you, foundational for you. Okay, personal for you, foundational for you. Okay. Third house of communication. Maybe you maybe you do something as simple as you decide to pick up a new book. Maybe you said you're going to create a challenge for yourself, a book challenge for yourself where you read 5 new books next year, 6 new books next year. Okay. Maybe you decide that you want to learn another language. Maybe you're planning a trip. Okay. Maybe there's a new Japanese restaurant in your city and you said you're going to go to Japan. So you're going to pick up Japanese so you can order your food in Japanese when you go to the Japanese restaurant in preparation for Japan. I don't know, but this is happening in your third house, house of communication, with the moon being in Gemini, a communication sign, a social sign. And it's happening on your ninth house, um, ninth house, third house axis, right? So maybe this is what you decide to do. Maybe you're starting to think about furthering your education just a little bit more. Okay. So it really could manifest any type of way for you all. This was just very, very general because this is a general read. If I had your personal chart, I'd be able to tell you how things would affect you more because, like I said, this is very, very general. How it affects you in natal is completely different. But I really feel like we're just at the point where the change is there, right? The change is there. And it's up to us to move forward and change, but only if we seize the opportunity to change. Spirit always gives us what we need so that we can implement changes in our lives for ourselves, for our children, for our family members, right? But you have to, one, be real with yourself and recognize that a change needs to occur. Take the steps to implement the change, right? And then move forward. As Starry Eyed always says, change is constant, but growth is optional. You have to ask yourself, how much do you want to grow? How much do you want to change? Are you ready to reassess your boundaries? Are you ready to reassess these relationships with people as this calendar year 2025 closes out? And then we bring in the new calendar year of 2026, because understand that we have been in an astrological transition point for the past year and a half, 2 years. The past 2 to 3 years, we've been in an astrological energetic change, right? We had Pluto go from Capricorn fully into Aquarius, right? Gemini is changing from, I mean, not Gemini. Uranus is changing from Taurus into Gemini. We can see right here in the chart that Uranus has retrograded into Taurus. But next year, Uranus is absolutely fully sliding into Gemini, taking its permanent place there for years. Next year, Saturn is going to be in Aries, moving into Aries for 2 years. So, what we're seeing right now is the last of Saturn in Pisces. Next year, Neptune, okay, Neptune next year is going to fully push itself into Aries. And then we're going to have about 12 years of that. Okay. Jupiter is changing signs next year. Jupiter is moving from Cancer into Leo. Okay. So we're moving a lot of our energy into moving from transition periods into energetics that is going to start things up, that is going to push the button, that is going to start the ignition. So we need to be getting ourselves together so that we can take full advantages of what's happening next year. And next year is going to be bumpy. 2026 is going to be bumpy, just like 2025 was bumpy, because we're getting those final ingresses into some of these signs. Okay. Going from water sign into fire sign, going from earth sign into air sign, going from feminine sign into masculine sign, from feminine sign into masculine sign, from feminine sign into masculine sign when Jupiter moves into Leo. So the energetics of things is changing next year. The energetics of things is absolutely changing next year, and you need to be ready to put your foot on the gas. You need to be ready. You need to be ready. Sleepy B says, I'm a millennial who's partially no contact. My family cannot have those conversations without physical confrontation. Absolutely. Put up your boundaries. Put up your boundaries. Put up your boundaries. She said, in short, tell them people what's good, keep your hands to yourself, leave them where they are. Yeah, absolutely. But understand that the changes are coming. The changes are coming next year, and we have to be ready, because the changes are occurring whether we're ready or not. So it's better to be ready. It's better to be absolutely ready. So, what did you all think about the information of today? I hope this information for today's full moon was beneficial for you. Beneficial for you. I've been looking at a lot of the transits for next year, 2026. It's going to be interesting. 2026 is going to begin is going to be gas, no brakes. Gas, no brakes. 2026. We've had a little bit of reprieve with some of these retrogrades, right? Sliding back into the feminine signs for one last time, but we're hitting the gas. We're hitting the gas, and we're lighting the matches next year in 2026. Next year in 2026. I can't wait to bring all the information to you. You know, I can't wait to bring the information to you, because we're gonna have a lot to discuss. and me too. Like, a lot of this full moon energy it's the same for me as it is for you. Like, I have to sit and I have to plan and I have to do things as well. So this isn't just me talking to you. I'm a person. I'm fallible, just like any other person is. But we just have to have these real and honest conversations with ourselves about who we are, what we're doing, what we like, what we don't like. Because again, spirit is always giving us the tools that we need to succeed. We just have to use them. And sometimes, in order to use the tools the spirit gives us, we have to take a look at ourselves and see, okay, like, what are we doing? What changes can I make? If you need to make changes and you can't, but you need help, ask somebody for some help. Okay? Ask somebody for some help. If you don't have people in your life that you can ask for help, you need to change the people in your life. And I say that to say that no human is an island. No man is an island. And all of us are part of some type of community. But if you can't go to the people in your community for assistance, you need a new community. Okay? You need a new community. Start doing them whenever you want. Start doing them whenever you want. Listen, I'm gonna start doing some I really have to start with, again, this is Q planning, because Q knows that she needs to plan better. Okay, like I said, this isn't just talking to you while Q knows she needs to plan better. Those of you, I have given you the spiritual tools. Those of you that have taken the magical timing classes, you know what to do. You know the days of the week. You know your planetary hours. Many of you have the tools. Okay, you have to implement the tools now. Every last one of you should know by now. Those of you that have taken my classes, if you've taken the candle magic classes, if you've taken the jars, the container magic class last year, where I talked about the different types of container magic, if you took the honey jar class, if you took the writing wishes class in January of 2020, In January of 2024, when I had the writing wishes classes, you should know how to make a petition. All of you all who have taken all those classes, you should know how to do a basic spell by now, a basic working by now. Y'all know y'all candle colors, which candles go for. Y'all know these things by now. And I say this to say, these are the tools. You have your tools, implement your tools. Now, as far as doing things on a much finer astrological playing field, that's different, and I understand that, but you can use your basic knowledge and information that we've been through together to do some basic work. Okay, Sundays for success, Mondays for family and children issues, Tuesdays for protection and cursing, Wednesdays for communication and money, Thursdays for abundance, expansion, money, Fridays for money, love work, especially romantic love work, Saturdays for protection, banishing, and cursing. Okay, y'all can pick the days of the week. You can pick, we talked about planetary hours and the magical timing. You choose your planetary hours. We talked about which apps to use. Okay, we talked about the moon app. We talked about Time Nomad. All this information over these past couple of years have been so you all can do your basic spell work. All of you should be. But if you all need extra help, then say, Q, I need extra help because I want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Okay. We are a community. Okay. We're a community. And community helps each other. This is the coterie. The coterie helps each other. And you said you want Mercury to be out of retrograde. I hear you. I absolutely hear you. I hear you. Okay. I absolutely hear you. Okay. And you said you've been exhausted the past 2 days. Girl, yeah. Me too. Me too. Same here. Same here. Okay, y'all. So yeah, like I said, if you ever need help about things, you all know how to reach out to me and get help. Because Starry Eye takes it upon herself to text me. Okay, I'll be sitting having 2 and 3 hour text conversation with Starry Eye. Okay, Starry Eye be asking them questions. Okay, we are a community. We are here to uplift each other, here to support each other, here to help each other. Okay. Okay. What you mean you don't know what you're doing? What you mean you don't know what you're doing? Okay. So yeah, I'm going to absolutely make sure I'm presenting more astrological information so that you all can have the information and decide whether or not you want to do something. Okay. For Real Brown Family Chronicles, you said, Q, I don't know what I'm doing. You got to tell me what you need help with so I can help y'all. Okay. Maybe you need to take some of my classes. Maybe we need a spiritual consultation session. Maybe I don't know how you want to do it. You don't know, where do you start? Okay, the first thing you're going to do, you got to figure out what type of magic you want to do. That's number one. That's number one. All magic is not the same. You got to figure out what type of magic you want to do. Do you want to go Western, esoteric, traditional, astrological magic, planetary magic, stuff like that? Do you want to get more into hoodoo and conjure? Or do you want to be someone that learns enough about both where you can mix the two and implement the two as you so see fit? That's what you got to figure out first. Once you figure that out, then we can move forward. Okay. Then we can move forward. So that is going to be a decision for you to make. Okay. And this is a good question. I don't know what your rising sign is, but I did just talk about during this, when I was going through rising signs and what this full moon means for rising signs. Some people are going to be deciding they want to learn something new. Maybe that was you. Okay. But the first thing you have to figure out is because all magic is not the same. There are so many ATRs. And ATRs, African traditional religions, you have hoodoo, you have voodoo, you have candomblé, you have Santeria, you have Ifa, you have Obia, you have Lukumi, you have that's just ATRs. You have Western traditional stuff where we're talking about planetary magic. We're getting into some of them Solomonic seals. We're getting into sigils. We're getting into we get into all types of stuff. We get into spirit conjuration. We're getting into days of the week, planetary magic. Like it's so much stuff. Q is only versed in Western traditional magic, esoteric, hermeticism, and hoodoo. Those are the only two that Q know. I don't know anything about voodoo. I am not initiated. I am not an Ifa. I am not initiated. Q only knows Western, esoteric, traditional stuff, and hoodoo conjure. That's the only thing that Q know. That's what Q can teach. Okay. So yeah, you're gonna have to go back through and listen to find your rising sign and listen. Okay. But like I said, once you figure out where you want to go, then I can help you out. I can help you out. On this channel, we've taught color theory. I've taught candle magic. I've taught planetary magic. I've taught magical timing. I've taught people how to work with containers. I've taught people how to write their petitions, how to write them correctly. I've even given some spells out in some of the classes that I've had. And I still have more to teach y'all. We just covered sigils. We just covered honey jars in the 2 classes last month. I've taught a lot. Okay, if you want to know about spiritual baths, I have a playlist on spiritual baths here on this channel. Why you should spiritually cleanse, the type of spiritual baths you can make. Every cleansing bath, every spiritual bath is not a cleansing bath, but all cleansing baths are spiritual baths, okay? Why sometimes it's better to do blockbuster work versus road opener work, protection. I've covered so much. Okay, I've covered so much over these past 3 years, going into 4 years. I've covered so much, but I will help you. So figure out what you want to do, and then we can go from there. Okay, Real Brown Family Chronicles. Figure out what you want to do, and then we can go from there. Okay, I told y'all about milkshake. Milkshake works. Okay, I've given y'all money drawing herbal recipes. Go back to my video. Jupiter's in Taurus. I think that was from January 2024. Jupiter was in Taurus. I gave a money drawing herb that you can make your own money drawing powder or oil with it. I've given that on this channel. Yeah, just go back through a lot of stuff on my channel. But again, like I said, if you really need help, just let me know and I will help you. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. I love you all. I'm going to put in the timestamps for rising signs so people can go back and watch that. But yeah, I love y'all very, very much. I love y'all very, very much. I'm going to see y'all next time in these YouTube streets. Love y'all, love y'all, love y'all.